Oh, okay. Welcome everybody to Open Hour. We love our weekly open hour. It's our excellent time to connect the SALT project team with the rest of the community. So we're really glad for those of you who are here and those of you who are watching after the fact. We love being able to connect with everyone in this way every single week. And I'm your host and community manager, Janae Andrus. And it is April 22nd somehow. I don't know how that happened, but April's flying by. So, all right, let's just dive in. We will go through a few updates. Sage, our program manager, will walk us through updates on the release timeline. And then the time will be yours. So any questions you have, any SEPs that you want to talk about, which are SALT enhancement proposals, that will be your time. So let's go into our quick update so that we can give you all as much time as possible. So yesterday we had a really successful virtual meetup and it was a lot of fun. We had an incredible panel with Tom Hatch and Nick Hughes and Gareth Greenaway, and Nick and Gareth who are here right now. Thank you guys again so much for being part of that. It was really great. We talked about Kubernetes and SALT and how they intersect and work together and how they don't yet and how we'd like them to. So we discussed that vision. That meetup was recorded and will be available shortly on YouTube, along with many, many other videos and resources and SALT Air. So if you want to go catch episodes of that or watch any other of the many things that we have, SALT Air courses are a video series where we get granular on SALT, Tom and I. And they're less than 10 minutes and fun little blurbs. So you can watch those and learn a lot more about SALT. So thank you again to our panel. It was a really great virtual meetup. We do these virtual meetups on the third Wednesday of every month. And it's the time for us to get deeper onto a topic. So if there's a topic that you'd like us to do a meetup on, or that you would like to speak on, always reach out to me. We do them every month and there's slots to be filled. So if anyone ever wants to do a demo or see a demo on a specific thing, please reach out to me. I'm on Slack and we'd love to hear from you. And of course, you can always reach us at saltproject@vmware.com. I can respond to you there as well. So saltproject@vmware.com. And of course, your source of truth is saltproject.io. Always. So saltproject.io is where you can go for all the things. So if you missed the meetup and you're not sure where you could have found it in the future, saltproject.io is where you can go. And speaking of, that is also where you can go to be part of our Kubernetes working group or any other working group that we have. So there is a tab at the top for working groups on saltproject.io. Just click the working group tab at the top. You can see when the working groups are, what working groups we have. And we'd love to have involvement there. We appreciate those who are involved in our working groups. They're a lot of fun. Today, we normally have our docs clinic streaming. It is canceled today. Our docs wizard is feeling unwell. So we hope he gets to feeling better and there will not be a docs clinic streaming today. So if you tune in and it's not there, that is why. So sorry that Twitch will be silent on that front today. And of course, store.saltstack.com is where you can get what is left of the SaltStack swag. So as you know, we've rebranded to SALT Project, and that new swag will be forthcoming. And in the meantime, we have clearanced out all of our SaltStack swag. So it is all 60 to 80% off with the old branding. So if anyone wants to go on store.saltstack.com and pick up some awesome things, we have socks and screen cleaners and nice jackets and laptop bags and t-shirts, lots of t-shirts and stickers. So if you want to go pick those up, there's also tumblers. I'm trying to think what else there is. Lots of good stuff. So feel free to go grab your SaltStack stuff while you still can. And just a reminder, we announced last week that SaltConf 21 will be virtual and will be November 3rd and 4th. So we are doing a 2-day virtual event this year. We did a 1-day last year. We are looking forward to it. We'll be opening up our call for speakers This summer is what we're aiming for. So start thinking about how you'd like to be involved in SaltConf, the content that you'd like to bring to that. We are really looking forward to SaltConf. If you have any questions, again, please reach out to me. Happy to talk to you. And of course, more will be forthcoming on that throughout the year, but we wanted to at least share our dates with you. So November 3rd and 4th is when you can mark your calendars for SaltConf 21. We're looking forward to it. Okay, so those are our updates and all the information you need from us this week. And I'm going to turn the time over to Sage for a bit to give us an update on where we're at with the release timeline. And then the time will be yours to ask your questions and let us know your thoughts. So Sage, take it away.
Yeah, so we did have a memory leak issue come in not very long ago, and we are actually going to delay the point release for that. So I don't have exact dates for you today. I will try to get those out this week. We need to look at the whole schedule. The schedule that was original is still out there on the calendar. You can go see those. I even have some dates that are held for unknown releases. Those are if we need to do a bug fix release or if we need something else there, perhaps it could be a security release. Those are just held dates. You can see them, but I am looking at that pretty carefully because we think that this memory leak is actually pretty important and we've just got to fix it. So we don't have a fix in just yet. We're working on it currently. So the release will not happen on the 28th and a date will be forthcoming. May 5th, May 12th. We'll look at that. I should have that soon. And then that could impact also the silicon release, of course. And the silicon release, we are also considering about how we're going to get in all those new open source projects that are coming back. And if we are delaying the release by a little bit, if we can also get those in. So looking at that target date that I had originally set as the 23rd June, if that is going to move anyway, if we can make that more realistic, I guess is the word I want to use. And so I want to take a look at this before I announce anything here. But looking at those and definitely going to give an update soon. So that release for the 3000.1 is delayed, will not be on the 28th. And the dates I hope to get out this week, the 23rd, if not on the 26th of April. And that'll be coming. More to come. Thank you.
Thanks, Sage. All right. So we're gonna give you guys the time. So we've got plenty of time to run through any questions that you have, issues that have come up, things you see in the community or in the code that you want to discuss. So if anyone has questions, now's your time. Wayne is asking Sage what version that was. He heard 3000.1, but oh, and Sage responded 3003.1 is delayed. So 3003.1 is what's delayed and will not be on the 28th.
I don't have a question, but more of a comment. I'm very glad that SaltConf will be 2 days this year, because I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I felt like there were too many parallel tracks during the single day last year, and I guess that's a tribute to SaltConf in terms of how much good content there was, and there was no way to consume it all in one day. So yeah, I'd just like to make that comment.
No, I really appreciate that, Gary. We ran into that so much last year. There was just so much fantastic content that people were just, you know, it's like kid in a candy store. I can't take this all in. There's a line, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Brian Regan, the comedian, but he has a line where he just says, "How do I get this goodness in me?" And I feel like that's how everyone felt at SaltConf. So how do I get this goodness? So yeah, we're excited to make it 2 days so that we can spread that out a little more and give people more opportunities and hopefully be able to span across more time zones and make that more convenient and accessible to people across different time zones. So.
And probably the only other comment I'd make is, if it's possible to have, because you guys did like some of the competitions and labs, if it's possible to have more spaces for those, because I know those went very, very quickly last year. Like I basically got the email and then it was, and then I looked at it a day later and all the spots were gone.
Yeah, they filled almost immediately. So we definitely would love to be able to spin up more instances for people, because it was very exclusive. And then we had some people not come. And so it was really awesome. And I definitely want more people to be able to do that, because the competitions and the labs were just a lot of fun. Especially the competitions, the two tracks we did for that. Definitely want more people to be able to experience that. So appreciate that feedback. I guess we're just doing everything right. If no one else has concerns or arguments or rebuttals, as Tom would say. This might be the world's shortest open hour. Give everyone a lot of time back in their day. If anyone has anything else, though, now's your time.
So I will bring up that I had an action item from last week to put the security working group and the test working group on the calendar. And as I went to go do that, I actually had some concerns. I did find some dates for those, that if we have people that are interested in joining those, that we'll put them on, and maybe we'll do one for each of those and see how they go. But I am concerned that we haven't had a lot of people that actually join those and continue with participation. So I wanted to bring up here, is the lack of participation due to not having enough time? Because we totally get that. We totally understand that there's just not enough time in the day to do all the things that everybody wants to do. Or is it a lack of direction on some of those groups? And I would love to hear from those of you in the community that do attend or attend sometimes, what your thoughts are on that as we move forward.
I have a small opinion.
Yeah.
I don't believe you, Nick. You have big opinions.
Okay, you got me. I was thinking about it after the virtual meetup last night, right? Like, we didn't see a whole lot of attendance there. And, I think that particular one, there wasn't a whole lot of time, right? Like, we got the announcement out in Slack like the day before.
Right.
And I know some of that was probably fluid, but I think that just like the forecasting of like, hey, this thing is coming out, and oh hey, by the way, this working group is meeting this week, and things like that across multiple platforms, right? Like, I went and looked at the Salt Project LinkedIn page recently, and I hadn't seen a post out of it for months. So, is there any way that we could like leverage more platforms in order to try and garner more attendance at these types of events, especially the working group?
Yes. So, and I love that comment, and it's something that we're actively working on. And Wayne said in the chat, more hype is always good, and it's so true. So it's very much on our radar. We have been slow about it. Mainly the reason being, like Sage said, so many hours in the day, there's only so many, and we can only do so much. So our social media team we just don't have one right now, and it's just really been us making the time. And to be perfectly candid and transparent, we just haven't made that a priority in all the other things that we've been doing. But what we are actively doing is, I think I mentioned previously, we have secured a contract with a social media team. So we're able to move forward there. And we will have a dedicated team on social media to do exactly that, to build more hype, to let people know about virtual meetups and working groups, and encourage people to be part of open hour and be able to reach more people in more places about more things. So we're really looking forward to that. And I do apologize that we just haven't had the bandwidth to make it more of a priority in the last couple of months. But we do have a plan in place and shortly in motion going forward. So I think that will make a big difference. So that is something we've been working on.
In terms of the security working group, I'm still quite keen to move that forward. I've just various things happening over the last few weeks, I've not had much time to look at that. I will get in
worries,
touch
Brian.
with you, Sage,
Yeah.
in the next couple of days. But yeah, I'm still very keen to try and move that forward.
Yeah, totally fine. I know that you're kind of my only person. So just wondering if there's other people too. I was looking at that and
Yeah.
thinking the second Monday of the month. I have a couple other days in the week that we could look at as well, a Wednesday or a
Cool.
Friday if Monday is not good. And I'm glad you're here because I wanted to reach out to you just to ask if that works for you.
Right. Cool. Yeah, then I'll drop you an email. Let's have a bit of a discussion about it. I think that should be okay.
Sure.
And perhaps we can discuss how we might try and get some other people interested as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that, Barney.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that's all very good feedback. So we'll definitely be improving there.
One other comment I can make, and as a relatively new member to the community, probably, I know there's all kinds of documentation kind of scattered all over around about, you know, what the purpose of each working group is and what the expectations are for each working group members. Like I found, you know, some should be, some working groups specified, you know, members should only be subject matter experts, whereas some have taken a more liberal approach in that if you want to learn about this topic, you know, come to the working group. So maybe consolidating and laying some of that out. I know probably one of the biggest, probably at least in my experience anyway, the two biggest barriers to joining a working group are one, time, which, you know, pretty much everyone has that problem, and two, whether they have skills that are valuable to contribute to that working group. So maybe laying out kind of the expectations for what those skills are and modes in which people can contribute might entice people to say, you know, I may be able to help here, or at least I'll be able to learn something, or, you know, at least setting the expectations for what the working groups should be doing, and, you know, what kind of skills members of the working group should have.
I really like that. That's a really great call out about the specific blockers and working groups. And we actually Sage did this fantastic page on saltproject.io for working groups. And so that we can definitely use that platform to build out a little bit more information. And so that's a great call out, Gary, that we can kind of open up the entrance, essentially, overcome like an entrance barrier really for people to be really clear about what maybe the time commitment is, what skills are required, that sort of thing, instead of just assuming.
Yeah, it's something that we've actually been trying to work towards. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to get the project charters, which Barney did a great job on his, for the security working group, the release group did a pretty good job on theirs as well. And Randy and Tyler were working on one for Item Cloud, and I think they just ran into some other issues getting that done. We talked about it, and that is, I wanted to put that on the website so that it was at that working group page, and so that people could clearly see that, and then also have that in GitHub. I know that I have a lot of work to do in that GitHub pages, and it's those aren't the same, and I need to work on that. But there are links to what people have been doing, and I think we do need to make that clear. And so that is the direction that the charter is supposed to go towards, if that makes sense. But I could probably do more, because I actually like what you said, Gary, about the expectations. And I think that's probably not as clear across the board. And so it needs some attention on expectations and probably its own sort of contributing guidelines that happen within the group. And I think that's great feedback. So I'll take that and see if we can get some more details in there. I did want the groups to also feel like they had some autonomy and they have some ability to take it in a direction that they want. But I do think that they all need like a project manager. That can't always be Sage. It's got to probably come from within the group. But like I've said before, I will train people. I will mentor somebody if they want to gain those skills. It is totally something you can put on your resume. And if you do something like that for the working group, I will back that up. And I will always tell people about what we did on those working groups and be contact for that. So if you're interested, let me know. You can reach me at sage@saltstack.com. You can also reach us at, what was the other one that we have? saltproject@vmware.com. Yep.
Yes.
That one. So reach out to us. I'm happy to teach people a little bit of project management on the side. That is not a ton of work. It just needs some focus. And I would love to see those have those expectations and how to contribute to them. And then if we keep them consistent, I think that'll also get us not only the clear communication on all the platform channels, but that'll also give people that like earlier notification of when those things are happening. We are also looking at our Slack workspace and using that more efficiently. And some of the working groups, and Nick, I think you did a pretty good job of this for cloud, is getting those announcements in those channels. And we probably need to consider doing that a little wider. That's like kind of an easy button that we probably haven't pushed on yet. I actually wondered if we need to focus more on individual code jams that have a clear focus and work agenda for a specific date and time, if that is actually a better way to go than some of these working groups. And like we had talked about doing, we have done the port to masters. And from when we changed from develop to master, and we still have some of this to do, but we need to focus on tests. And we also have the clinics to then say, this is kind of what we're doing going forward. Wondering if we need to focus on those for something like just test in general, instead of having a working group. Or maybe even Kubernetes, not sure. I'd be interested in people's feedback.
I can tell you for myself personally, it's easier for me to set aside a day, block off a day to do, a code jam or something, or, a docs jam or whatever, than it is necessarily an ongoing commitment.
Sure.
Especially as, work schedules fluctuate and people get busy. I find it's easier to block off a day in my calendar to contribute that way than it is necessarily ongoing. And other people's experience may be different, but I can just from my personal experience, that works better for me.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder if we need both, right? Or we need all of the above, but if we could focus some of those in other places too, because I think that gives us more reach. So yeah, great feedback.
For sure. And we are looking closer at the website right now. So I appreciate a couple comments in the chat, about different links and whatnot. I would really love website feedback this week because we're really actively looking at that. And we have, again, more dedicated people on that now, thank goodness. And so any website feedback you want to shoot my way or say here is also very, very welcome. So that is something about Salt Project is we're very dynamic, right? We're always improving. So the website in particular right now, this is a good time to share any issues that you see.
Calendar.
Right. Oh, that's where it keeps me up at night. That is at the very, very, very top of the list.
Yeah, the thing that is constantly a thorn in my side about that is that, like, ICS has existed for an incredibly long time. Like, there are human beings who are probably working as developers who are younger than the ICS format. And for some reason, Outlook is just determined to make that an awful experience. And that just makes me scream a little bit.
I concur. I concur.
I think Sage and Wayne and I are going to start an Outlook support group if anyone would like to join.
There may be alcohol involved. There may be.
Yeah, we're talking about a tool that's like 8 clicks to use a template. I'm like, I could create a template in 8 clicks. I don't need to.
I bet we could automate that.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
So we will shortly try to spare everyone from that pain. Or we are just going to have to start that emotional support group. So. Yeah, we will get that sorted and then send Wayne a get well package for surviving it.
I survived Outlook and all I got was a stupid t-shirt.
Right, exactly. That's funny.
We have our new design. There it is.
There it is.
Oh, this crappy calendar.
I got to do that right along with the TLDR shirt I need to make for Sage. So, coming up the list.
That's right. No, I will get some stuff on the calendar. In fact, I wanted to just open that up to this this space of people, because I think that this space is actually really working quite well for everyone. And before I put things on the calendar for these groups, we are also looking at like a scrum of scrums or a group of groups so that the captains or their designee from each group can come to a Friday meeting that will be probably the first Friday of the month. And we'll probably just invite those people individually and then ask for their designee if they can't make it, so that we can share across those groups and understand what they're working on as well, and then have those details posted in a public way, probably on the website. And so that is moving forward. The coordination for that is sort of NASA level coordination at times, but we'll get there. And I should have some things on the website today for those working groups and some Zoom links. We are still working towards process improvement. Some of the working groups are actually fairly critical in getting that process improvement in place, like the security working group. So that one definitely, I'm not going to say we're not going to do it, but I wanted to continue to gain the feedback from this group in particular to understand where we might be faltering or what we might need to do better, because that's that process improvement we can't do in a silo with the core group. We've got to have our community members help us there. We are a small team and our community is amazing. So you guys are part of the team. I mean, that's just how it is. And so we want to, we love the feedback. I like how Diwaz said it. We love feedback, but we also need to understand what people's cycles are. So if that's in a clinic or if that's in a docs jam or a code jam for a single day event, or if it's a working group and that works better for you, we want to make sure that we can get that information to you guys. So we'll get that out on more platforms and we'll make that better. So those process improvements are occurring, albeit slow, they are happening.
That's right. All right. Any other thoughts? We'll wrap up. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. This was a shorter open hour, but really, really useful. I know I took a lot of notes. So thank you guys so much for coming and being part of our weekly open hour. If you see anything on saltproject.io that you have feedback on or something you would like to see, please reach out to me, saltproject@vmware.com, or I'm on Slack. My handle is just Janae, so Janae. Thank you guys again for being here, and we will see you guys next week. Have a great rest of your day.